Today on the Topping Show, UAW President September 29th live stream, but without censorship and with my charming personality. GOP debate highlights of Tim Scott, Chris Christie, Mike Pence, and Doug Burgum. Elon fires entire election integrity staff. Lucid opening their first plant in Saudi Arabia to sort of make vehicles there. Carl Icahn selling his remaining share of Xerox for $552 million. Epic Games is laying off 16% of their staff. And McKinsey is agreeing to pay $230 million off of their involvement in the opioid crisis. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of Topping Show is sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder released twice today. Gotta say, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's a joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of October, so if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Lucid opening their first plant in Saudi Arabia to kind of make vehicles there, sort of, not really. They're actually going to take fully developed kits from the United States, and they're going to ship them. So they're opening the plant technically in King Abdullah Economic City near Judea on Wednesday. And the factory is going to be the first international plant. Will initially focus on reassembling vehicle kits sent over from the United States. And this is when asked for comment, the CEO said, quote, "With support of the Saudi government, we are proud to drive local development in the technology industry," unquote. That's again from Peter Rawlinson, their current CEO. He also said, quote, "We look forward to developing and delivering Saudi assembled cars to consumers in Saudi Arabia and beyond. Saudi Arabia's powerful public investment fund, PIF," this is unquote, apologies, "is controlled by the Saudi government, and they are Lucid's largest shareholder." Now, the Saudi government also has an agreement with Lucid to purchase up to 100,000 vehicles over a 10-year period. That's a lot of government EV vehicles. Now, the weirdest thing about this whole arrangement, the new factory will initially deliver Lucid vehicles that are already assembled. So, oddly enough, they're going to assemble them in the United States like they normally do. And it sounds like they're going to then disassemble them for shipping, send them to Saudi Arabia, and then reassemble them for reasons. Now, in the United States, in order to say made in the USA, the components have to be 75% or greater. So I could say this table right here is 100% made in the USA by a Cuban, though I am obviously an American citizen and I was born here. But all the components of this table were made in the USA. You have the epoxy, the wood, the steel legs, you have the screws. There's a whole the silver coins you can't see. Vintage American currency from back from U.S. currency is worth something. But in this case, it sounds like it's going to be made in Saudi Arabia, but really, at the current moment, it's going to be reassembled. And perhaps this is so that they could lay out the new factory in Saudi Arabia, and they can then teach the employees to put it together. And that might make a little bit of sense. I think that might be the only logical reason why, again, you would take a vehicle in the United States that's already assembled. It's here in the United States assembled, disassemble it, ship it to Saudi Arabia, and then assemble it there. So perhaps this is a good training exercise, and then they'll have employees in Saudi Arabia build it together. But it's no surprise that they're building a factory there. It is their largest shareholder, which, okay, it makes sense. They're obviously very invested in the company. In Saudi Arabia, they've been trying to pivot away from the traditional income, where Saudi Arabia is known for having a preposterously high amount of oil production. It's a whole thing in and of itself. In fact, if you watch F1, oddly enough, if you look at all the logos, and again, I'm not an enthusiast. I can't tell you all the stats, but I watch it every once in a while, and oddly enough, I'm more interested in the business side of most sports balls and sports events. But nevertheless, if you watch F1, every single corporate logo you see on a car or a banner, last time I watched, it was all tech related, which makes sense. The tech manufacturer wants to do marketing, and they have a lot of money for that. They're all tech related except for two. And this is me just watching one race, so anecdotally, small sample size. but there were only 2 logos that were not tech related. One was Duracell batteries, interestingly enough, and the other one was Saudi Aramco. So a big oil company for Saudi Arabia. Now Saudi Arabia has been trying to pivot into other technologies. Their leadership has tried to make it a tech hub similar to San Francisco. I don't know how much traction has been there, but the country sees long term they want to be known for more than just the production of oil. So it makes sense they want to be an industry leader in the EV category. Now the detriment to Lucid for now is that the current price points it's a premium luxury brand, which that's how Tesla started as well. I think the Lucid Sapphire is like 200 grand for a disposable car, which I would never do, obviously. Well, I would also need 200 grand to help out with that. But nevertheless, I think their entry-level vehicle starts closer to around 100. So for now, they're still the premium brand, and maybe that's what Saudi Arabia likes. But it'll be interesting to see if they decide to long-term compete with Tesla by coming out with more economical entry-level vehicle price points. That'll be interesting. Let me know in the comments, do you think this idea makes sense long-term for the company? Or are they just doing it to appease their largest investor? What are your thoughts? I really appreciate what you have to say. Thank you everyone again for taking the time to tune in today. I know it's ambitious, but we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of September, or rather October, because my ADHD, the months go way too quick these days. So if you can click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, if you take the time to like and comment, I really appreciate the feedback, even if it's critical, as we try to make the show better and better together. And also, lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight,